Hello, everybody. Good evening. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Hope everyone is doing very well. Hope everybody's doing very, very well. If you're just joining, let us know where you're watching from in the comments section, and we're going to start this right away. I have some updates to share. In regards to the lawsuit, of course. Thank you, Jesus. All right, I see Orlando. I see Australia. I see Pennsylvania. Welcome, 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 welcome to tonight's live stream. I see South Africa. Bruce Como from South Africa. I see Nebraska. God bless you. Laverna from Nebraska. Jonas from Minnesota. God bless you. Welcome, welcome, welcome to today's live stream. So I'm gonna jump right into this shortly. I want you to like the video, drop a comment, engage with it, share it, let somebody know that we are on the live. The more you engage with the video, the more the algorithm will send it to people to watch and be a part of it. Janet from New Jersey, God bless you. Mary from Las Vegas, God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. God is good and God is a great God. God is good and God is a great God. I see Washington State. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. All right. Kim Brown, all is well, Pastor. Kim from 433 Church. Incredible, incredible, incredible. Vicky from, is this Hurst, Texas? Is that how you say it? Welcome. Good to have you with us tonight. God bless you. God bless you. I see the United Kingdom. I see United Kingdom. I'm trying to figure out how to get these. All right. God is incredible. God is good. All right. Let's jump right into this. So, for the last couple of years, we have been in for the last year, a couple of years, for the last year, we've been in a lawsuit. We were sued by Lovy Elias and his comrades meaning his circle of his friend circle. Okay. And I'm one of a few people that received the legal uh, threats, and one of a few who they actually followed through with the lawsuit on or with. So the goal of the lawsuit was or is essentially to shut us up, right? To keep us from speaking. It's called the bully lawsuit, right? Is to make an example out of people for for sharing their story and sharing their experiences. Okay. Now I have a video that I want to play for you. A voice note that I've never shared before. That I believe today will be a good day to to share that voice note. It's something I've sat on for about a year now. When everything first happened, I received a call. Okay, and the call was from a a so-called prophet, and it was a series of calls actually, and the goal was to get me to back down. Okay, I believe that I'll let you hear it actually, and have you come up with your own conclusion. I'm gonna have you listen to it and come up with your own conclusion. But this call was with a a pastor, a pastor that a lot of people know, and yeah, let me work on sharing that with you right now. In the meantime, share the video, let somebody know we're on, and we're gonna get to the matter of the day shortly. Yeah, it's muted. I'm working on playing you this audio really quickly. I haven't played it ever, so I'm just kind of working on it really quickly. So 1 second, if you don't mind. If you're just joining, by the way, drop a like on the video. All right, I'm gonna play for you now. Yes, I'm here. So it also helps me. Obviously, I've changed the audio. I've changed the sound of the voices in there, so you can't tell. Who's. You shouldn't be able to tell who's speaking. Obviously, if you're a tech person, I'm sure you figure it out. But you shouldn't be able to tell who's speaking. It's three people having a conversation, so you can't tell who's who. Okay, so I'll explain it to you. Just listen. So eventually, is the person that let's say some few things go wrong on my side. Hello. Yes, I'm here.
He also helps me. If I look at things to a point where I say, okay, I'm trying to initiate peace. You get a point, yes?
So the person says he's trying to initiate peace, okay?
I have to look at what you have, and I know some of the things that you said, and of course some of the things you're saying you have not revealed. All right? Yes.
So the person is saying that he knows he needs to see everything I have, all of my evidence. He's asking me to show him my evidence of the things I've said. It's like I need to see everything.
But if I go to the other side and say, look, this man wants peace, no problems. And to some extent, somebody close to the people give me what they use as evidence.
So he's saying that if he goes, by the way, I didn't, how do I explain this? He's saying if he goes to the other side, he will want to see what they also have as their evidence. Okay, so keep listening.
And I say it is a very dangerous slope. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Where the only solution here you can do is what? Is peace. And I know nobody, if people record, they will not use any of my calls because of the respect that is said. Yeah.
Wow.
Do you understand? But the point is, you need is trust me on it. If this.
So he's saying, yeah, the voice is distorted. It's distorted. Is distorted. But he's saying, I'm gonna play one more time. Play.
But the point is, you need is trust me on it. If this, even there is a page that is attacking him.
So he's telling the person is in the room with that they created a page that he says there's a page that's attacking him. Him mean EJ, me.
When girls are coming out and saying he did this, I'm not saying it's true. But
he said, I'm not. He said girls are coming out and saying all these things. He's like, I'm not saying it's true.
There has been a girl that's convinced to do it.
Let's listen to this, y'all. Listen.
There has been a girl that's convinced to do it.
He said, let's say there's a girl that they convinced to do this. Okay.
They got convinced by a supporter.
She got convinced by one of their supporters.
These guys, whatever it is, what happens? Big trouble. It'll be big trouble.
He says if there's a girl that they convinced to come out and just start, essentially making up stuff, he's like, you're gonna be in big trouble. And there are like 3 or 4 parts of this recording. In one of the recordings, he said it doesn't even matter if it's true. He says they can come out and say that you've raped them. He says by the time you fought that for a while, whether it's true or not, he says it's just gonna exhaust you. Okay, he says it's gonna exhaust you. People are gonna believe it anyway. You're gonna be in legal battles. You're gonna be in all these things. So this is what this man of God is saying.
Don't want that. If you don't want nonsense like that, you just don't want it. If it can be ended, please, I can call in Lovy right now. He said, good.
He said, let's figure out the peace part because you don't want all that. You don't want people to accuse you. Let me call Lovy right now. Okay?
Yes. So that we can just say, at least, no evidence. No one is going to say, you did this to me, you did that to me. I'm the one I did to get it. Yeah, so stop it. So he's failing to, and then he fears that it would be a loss. So the best thing is I just leave it, and then the war happens, then I'm telling you, I know you will lose.
He's saying this. He said, if this war happens, he's like, I know you will lose. He's telling his guys like EJ will lose. He's saying this, okay?
No, you. Let me put on speaker for you.
So this is just like this is a portion of a very long conversation that I'm just choosing to play today. Okay. He says a lot of other things. Essentially, what that call sounded to me like was it was a threat. Okay. It was a threat. And it was saying, if you don't stop speaking, if you don't stop talking, if you don't just move on, if you try to say anything, he's like, people are going to come out. They're going to say things about you. You're going to be fighting a bunch of all these battles. And he's like, you're going to lose. Right. So how this call ends is, you know, he said he was going to call the other person. He was like, this doesn't need to be anything big. This can just be settled. You know, he's like, I'm going to help to advocate it. So he calls the other party, calls me. We all get on a phone call. Okay. And not because of this part of the message. There was another part of the message that, you know, hopefully I'm going to get time to play for y'all one of these days. So I get on the call. The other party, which is Lovy, of course, denies any foul play. He say he has no hand in it. But then he agrees. He says, if anybody has created a page or said bad things about you, please, uh, uh, the middle guy, the middleman now, says, tell them to stop. And, you know, it's like, EJ, does anybody created anything? You know, I said, listen, I don't need people to fight for me. Like, what I said myself because it's true. I don't need to hire people to make up stuff for me. So if you stop, like, because they were coming for my kids at this point. I said, I just want you to leave my kids alone. You see what I'm saying? I'll leave my kids alone, and I'll take a step back. Okay. And obviously, this is kind of around August. You know, for those of you that don't know, August, September, it was the first time they sent the cops to harass my children. And at this point, all I was speaking about was the occultism part. I didn't know about the grapes, you know, the molestation, a lot of those things. You know, I was privy to all of that information. So fast forward, or I didn't know, you know. Fast forward, obviously, they continue to plan, and then they had this final game plan to, like, get me, I guess. And the cops came to church, and, you know, I call it illegal kidnap my kids for 2 days, and then they finally gave the kids back to me. We went to courts. Thank you for everybody who supported, you know, in that season. Now, after this call, the person goes, you know, Lovy goes on and says he talked to that guy, and that guy told him that, you know, he has a permission to use his name to share XYZ story. And again, I'm trying my best to kind of be a discreet, but there are multiple preachers who reached out to me pretending to want to help to mediate the issue, who ended up just, you know, we realized they picked the side. You know, I was talking to Abednego about this, and he was like, bro, I played him the actual tape, not the distorted voice. I played him the actual recording. I sent it to him. He goes, bro, you were talking to a snake. It's like you could hear it all over, you know, all over the audio. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying all of that to say that this is way bigger. This is much bigger than you think. Okay, the people who are involved in it, the people who have picked the wrong side, um yeah, a lot of people have picked the wrong side. Anyway, moving forward, we get to today. Before we even get to today, the week where we got sent the cease and desist, which is myself. I got sent one. I think Jax got sent one later. I don't even know if it got to her, if it was sent to her email. I don't know how that worked. I don't know how she actually got hers. Like, I don't know. Anyway, the week that was sent to me, Passion Java had sent some of his staff. No, it's not Pastor Chris. He had sent some of his staff cease and desist as well. Okay, and like it's exactly 10 days. It's a 10-day gap between mine and the one he sent to his staff. Okay, and what he was saying to his staff was that they can't say that he sleeps with underage girls, but the staff was saying, why are you going to send me a cease and desist saying I don't sleep with underage girls, saying that you don't sleep with underage girls, when we've never accused you of sleeping with underage girls? Like, we've never voiced that. Why would you send it? So of course the staff starts hearing about my story, so they start listening to my story, and then they put everything together. Different people start saying what they know. Different people start saying things, and the pieces start coming together. And then a lady called Katie comes out and actually um, reveals that in fact Passion had slept with her daughter's friend. Her daughter was 15 or 16 at that time. This is a couple of years ago. Had slept with her daughter's friend, and her daughter's friend was about 15 and 16 as well. Um, so then everything began to make sense as to why, this lawsuit has started. Now, for me, not knowing all of those things before, my fight was against the witchcraft, the occultism, coming to us telling us God said, but it's not God. It's some sort of deity. It's a demon. Okay. Now, where does Lovy get involved in this? Okay, Lovy came out, and everything I said against Passion, he took that and said I had said it against him. So of course, Passion is not suing me. Lovy is suing me, and now we know that it is to protect. It was to protect Passion Java. Okay, um, and most recently, our lawyer, well, Jackson and I share the same lawyer, so a lawyer well, filed something, and he's saying that Lovy's lawyer had reached out to him to speak bad of his client, Jax, and says that, he should be ashamed for everything I'm saying is alleged, okay? And I'm giving summaries, so of course I'm not going to get to these stories. I'm not going to get it word for word. So Lovy's lawyer reached out to our lawyer and says that our lawyer should not be representing people like us, or be around people like us. And he claimed that Jax was anti-Semitic, which Jax says, I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm just I'm not anti-Jew. I'm anti people that claim to be Jews that actually do evil things to people. She said, I'm not anti-Jew. Okay. Now, it's bad when they are going to the length of, in the middle of a lawsuit, sending emails under the table to our lawyer to try to get our lawyers, or poison the mind of our lawyer. So in this document our lawyer has submitted to the court, he says that their lawyer should be disbarred. He should be reported to the bar. Well, I'm summarizing, okay? Can't remember the exact words, but something along those lines. He needs to be reported to the bar. They need to be reported to the bar for being extremely unprofessional and trying to poison his mind against his client, sending an email to accuse his client of anti-Semitism. So what we're seeing again, this is bullying. They're doing all they can do to not only try to silence us, but sway our legal counsel against us, which makes absolutely no sense. Now, since when we started speaking up, a lot more women have come out, a lot more people have come out. Boys, listen to this, boys and girls have come out. A young boy who is under the covering of Lovy Elias was in fact sodomized, allegedly sodomized, okay, forcefully sodomized, an underage boy, okay, and the said perpetrator has been arrested. And word on the street is that, Lovy had no choice but to speak against the guy who actually did it, which is one of his peoples, one of the guys who was under his ministry, is, one of the prophets. And of course, another person who, I believe, again, all things alleged, served in their ministry, was arrested also for child abuse. Okay. uh, multiple women have spoken up against, all of the foolishness that has been taking place, and it's even worse than we have thought, right? A lady called Katie came out, talk about how Passion Java raped her and was trying to, guys, don't pay attention to that person. You don't have to respond to them. They don't need attention. If somebody comes on here, you think what we're talking about is gossip, you shouldn't be on here. You can log off. You don't need to provide your unsolicited opinion. Okay, and even if you do, even if they do, just ignore them. Okay. So, her daughter was also being groomed. Her daughter was underage as well, 15, going on 16, being groomed by Passion Java. So she was raped, and her daughter was being groomed. And her daughter is the one that told her about the other girl who, is whose mother serves under the ministry of Lovy, Elias. Okay, and why has the mother not spoken up? Is the mother bewitched? Does the mother not know what's going on? Have they been paid off? Word on the street is that they got a house in Simi Valley. They got an apartment given to them, handed to them. Of course, some of the other word on the street is that Lovy has said that some of the girls speaking up should have gotten a check. Some of the girls, of course, do have integrity. Some took a check, some refused to take a check and chose to actually speak up, follow through, and speak up. Another young lady, um, another young lady by the name Peyton did come out, and again, I was hoping that she would share more of her the full experience that she went through. Maybe she will, who knows? But she was on a trip with Lovy and Passion, and she was on that trip. She was raped by Passion about she claimed 5 times. Okay, 5 times raped by Passion on that trip. That trip was in Dubai. Um, and she did reach out and say, thank us for our boldness, thank me for my boldness, and talked about how she's been able to come out and have boldness to speak and tell her story. And she also messaged me after the fact and said that there were more details that she was waiting to release, that she will be releasing some more details about the said ordeal. So far, multiple people have had the courage to come out and speak up and tell their stories. Some just, some more physical, and some more spiritual, and some both. Right? Everyone is telling what they've experienced in the ministries of Passion Java and Lovy as well. In all of this, there have been, people who have supported us from the beginning of it, and who still stand with us. There have been people who picked the side, I would say the wrong side, and some people who have picked the right side, right, the side of truth. And some of the people we started with, um, are not the same people we have here. Some of the people we have here, some of them we started with, and it's just been really interesting to see kind of what God has done and what God has taught us. And I really love the story of Nehemiah and building the worlds, rebuilding the walls. Sorry, Nehemiah rebuilding the walls, where they were building with one hand and they had the sword in the other hand. So they were rebuilding the walls and they were defending themselves. They were defending themselves against the attackers with the other hand, and God was with them. And I believe that we're seeing that today again, in our ministry. We are rebuilding after a lot of the craziness, a lot of the attacks, um, really, really nasty stuff. But we're still here. Um, we're still here. We still have church, every Sunday. God is still moving. People are still being healed, delivered, set free. They're still being discipled, growing in the word. And I think that's such a beautiful thing. Okay. That's a beautiful thing. Now on the flip side, there is still this lawsuit that is pending. Where are we at right now? There is an appeal. Okay. There's an appeal. what's the appeal? The appeal is uh, a notice that our lawyer has filed, okay, and it's put some sort of a stay on the case. So the case is kind of in limbo, but there's a lot of paperwork, happening, in the background. So as much as you may not be able to see the 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 case publicly, in the background you're able to see the case. So I want to say this: if you love, um, if you love your prophet Lovy, okay, if you love him, today will not be the day to provoke anybody on the life, okay? Like, I mean, you can see, like, I'm close to playing this audio without, without a distorted voice. So I think if you were sent by one of your prophets, this is like not a day, to play any of those games. Like, no, I don't think anybody is in the mood for that today. Okay, and I want to tell my team, please, if you're logged in, please work with me. Okay, help me control the live. What do I mean by that? When you see foolish comments, please block those comments. Today really is not the day, to have those, to play those games. Okay, we're not in the mood for that. Play somewhere else. Okay, play somewhere else. And as much as I want to play it, I want to make sure that I'm not reacting to what's being done. Okay, I want to be, I want to be very strategic. I want to be very wise. I want to be very smart. Okay, so no, this is not going to be a reaction. Okay, this is going to be a decision. If it's played, it's because I chose to play it, not because I was reacting. But you get my point. I'm just letting y'all know that it really is not the day to play. So if they send you, go tell them before you start commenting that I don't think today is the day to play. I think we should just let him be today. Okay. And and if you're wondering, I want to also throw this out there. If you're wondering what's also going on with these clips, okay, God forbid, I don't believe anything will happen to me. I believe I'm protected by Jesus. But let's say one of my devices goes blank. There are people, trusted people, that have the files. Okay, they trust the people that have the files. Some of the files are locked up in safe places. In fact, I can't even just wake up and access some of those things. Some of the backups, I can't access the main files, but some of the backups, they're locked away. But some of the people I trust have some some files. They have some files, and again, I'm saying that for my protection, and so you can all know that, um you can all know kind of the strategy here. Like, I'm not just keeping it to myself. We're all in this together, and thank God we do have a community who's standing with us through all of this. Now, the next phase of where we're at, it's a um two-part phase. Okay, in one hand, we're still fighting the lawsuits, we're still battling the lawsuits, and in the other hand, we are building the church. So some exciting news is that we have been having services in the library of the church. Okay, we've been having services in the library of the church, and we are now moving from the library back into the main auditorium. So we thank God for this. We thank God for this. We thank God for sustaining us, for keeping us, for strengthening us, for giving us a support system. Okay. And I would love to mention names online, but I don't even know if those people will want their names mentioned. They have been men and women of God from all around the world that have helped us, that have supported us, and even those in our church, our builders and our members, have been very supportive, through all of this. And in this, we've really seen, hearts of, real people. And we've been able to put, what's the word, we've been able to put safeguards in place. I'll share one of them with you. If you have, if you left in the middle of the heat because you weren't sure, you're invited to come back, however, one of the things that we are doing is I'll call it a rediscipling process, just to help people with discernment and just to, you know, get people familiar again with, what we're doing. Okay. And those people will not serve, they're not just going to come and serve. They're going to go through a process, and it's going to take a time to go through that rediscipling, So that's one of the safeguards, one of the many safeguards that we've put in place. Um, and I want to say this. I want to say that this is not a fight against EJ. This is not a fight against me. This is a fight against the church. This is a fight against the body. Okay. If they succeed in winning this, which I don't believe will happen, if you heard tomorrow, I gave up and I walked away and I took some sort of a deal, please pray for me. Know something has happened. Okay. Um, the reason why I would not do that is because of the next generation. Okay. I believe that we've paid a very, very heavy cost, a very, very heavy price for this. Okay. Um I don't want to call it excommunicated, but people have distanced themselves from me, men and women of God. And I can name names, but there's no point in that because there's no animosity. I don't have any animosity towards any of these people. Um, it just again opens your eyes to see the reality of church, okay, and the institution, not the spiritual body of Christ, but the institution, the physical institution of church. Because wouldn't it make sense that if I'm speaking up against horrible things in the church, witchcraft and women being assaulted, raped, wouldn't you expect that people will come and kind of rally towards us, especially if we're being bullied to silence? Well, that's not the case, right? Everybody kind of minds their business, not everybody, but a lot of people will rather mind their business and keep their peace, and they don't want to know what's going on. They don't want to be a part of it. What these people don't understand is today it's EJ. Tomorrow it may be any of you. And if you don't fight against the bullying and they get away with it, I mean, people, these guys are going to get away with a lot of horrible things, a lot of terrible things. If if this doesn't go the right way, and I'm believing that it will go the right way. So I'm not. I'm choosing. I'm choosing not to keep quiet. I'm choosing to speak up. I'm choosing to work. I'm working with authorities. Um, just in case you're wondering, I have spoken to the feds, okay, the actual feds. At some point, people impersonated the feds, okay, and they called and they called members and called friends and business partners and lied that they were the feds. They were not the feds. They lied. Um, in regards to the children, okay, I need to give you this. We're going to get into the fundraising part in a second, but I want to give you this. In regards to the kids, some of you watched when they, came to the church and, try to get the kids and all of that stuff in the middle of a service, which I don't believe is constitutional. You don't stop a service and search everybody's cars and their trunks. You don't do that. Okay, you don't do that. That's foul. Now, the judge granted that the kids, all three kids, um, be moved back to us. Okay, so the kids were moved back to us. They've been with us since then, and I've been. I guess the difficult part is telling the kids that that's still their mother and to learn to forgive, but also hearing the horrible things they've had to endure while being there, which I'm not going to share today. That's their story. That's their story to tell. They're going to tell, trust me, they're going to tell their story. So there is a CPS investigation currently ongoing because we found things out after the fact. The kids were very brave to come out and share with us some very, very terrible and horrible things that were done to them. Okay. Which I wouldn't share today. Just pray for them. Pray for the children. For about a year while the kids were with me, their mother continued to collect child support. So the kids were with me full time and child support was being paid. I had to fight for the child support to stop because it doesn't make any sense that they're with me and the child support is still going. So there's about a $3,000 child support back pay, and you can imagine that they have put a lot of things into play to, you know, to uh to get that money. Okay. And I'm trying to avoid arrest. Okay. I don't want to get arrested. I obviously need to take care of that, but it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, and I think it's foul play, but I thank God for my lawyer that was able to abate it, meaning that now we don't pay child support. However, there is that back pay of the 1 year plus that the kids were with me, and the other party refused to stop essentially collecting child support. Now, since the kids have been here, at first the judge had said that they have to talk to their mother every single day, but then they were granted something called a guardian who, and a therapist, and they both said it's not good that the kids have that call every day. So it was suspended because they said it was going to bring a lot of trauma for them because of the things they've experienced. So that was suspended, and they started therapy, and it was once a week. And then the therapist said this is really not good for them. They need to do um, therapy twice a month. So once every other 2 weeks they do a therapy because of the level of trauma that they had experienced. Okay, so that's in motion right now. Thank God. A lot. There's a lot that has been communicated from the therapist to the guardian and at Lighten, and I don't think that's for the public. That's not for public knowledge. That's the kids' personal business. I hope you understand that there's some things I can share with you because we're standing together, but there are some things that I may not be able to share because it involves underage children. Okay, and my kids. Okay, so there's that, and we do know also that the other parties have been the one that have paid for my ex-wife's lawyer and legal fees, which I found very foul, right? Because I don't know. We could go into that, but I don't think that's relevant. Who cares who's paying for whose legal fees, right? Right now we're at the point of the next phase of all of this, of the lawsuit and rebuilding. So we need to take care of more legal fees, right? And then we are raising funds for in the rebuilding of our ministry. Like I said, we're moving back from the library where we've had church to now the auditorium. One of the things that we're looking to purchase is a van. A lot of a lot of folks come from out of the city. A couple of hours from outside of Miami, driving to Miami. Those people that actually serve every Sunday, and they have to get there, 3-4 hours before the service, and they leave, a few hours after the service as well. So we are considering these people, and also some of our members live very far, and some of them are old, and they don't even have ways to get to church every Sunday. So sometimes people have to go out of their ways to go get them, and we believe that a van will fix that issue, right? We did start before all of the craziness. We had started campuses in different parts of Florida, but we consolidated so we can focus on one place and just rebuild and reteach the foundation of the gospel, especially for those that would continue with us. And I believe that that was a very, very good idea. That was a good thing that we did. And now, and the other thing is, for the out of Miami campuses, satellite campuses that we had, and events we had, it was a lot having 10 cars, 12 cars, 15 cars drive all the way up to Tampa or Orlando or Homestead. So the van will actually help us reach all of these places, while saving gas, while making sure our people are not fatigued. I want us to be able to serve, but also conserve our energy, right? I don't believe there needs to be a burnout while we serve God, while we devote our lives to preaching the gospel. So there's that. Some of the other things that we're looking forward to raising as it pertains to the church is, we used to have staff. We had staff, and they were full time, and now they obviously have jobs now, but continue to serve for free, and we're looking to bring them back, and you know get some people on part time and things like that. I've discussed all of this with our coordinators, our builders, our team, so they already know all of the things I'm mentioning here, but I wanted to bring it to your attention. Also, our Sunday worship experience, that cost us money every week. So we're raising money towards that. If you all know, we have Great Grace Music, 433 Music, if you want to call it that now, I guess. Remember, I always say Great Grace is the movement, but 433 is the name of the church, okay? So we're still looking to, push the music. We had a lot of testimonies from people who are not Christians who would listen to the music, and it will pull them, towards us, and then we get to share the gospel with them. So that was really beautiful. So we're still looking to invest into our music ministry. We have operational costs. We have, we want to do equipment upgrades as well, in the sanctuary. One of the things that we were renting back then, it cost a lot of money actually, was the speakers, the really big speakers you guys saw, in the auditorium. That cost a lot of money. So now we're going to attempt to not get those same ones, but get good supplements. So when you're in the sanctuary, the sound is really good. So we're gonna be raising towards that as well. Our digital outreach as well, and we have a very dedicated social media team that we're gonna build out again. So more people, especially online, our online community, will make sure that they hear this message, hear the gospel, and yeah, they'll be strengthened through our digital ministry. So on that raise, we're looking to raise about 135,000 plus the van, which is about $15,000. Now, the van costs more than $15,000 because we've started getting um, quotes. The first quote that came in was actually $30,000. We were hoping to, it wasn't going to be brand new. We're just, maybe we should believe for a brand new van, okay? But when we spoke to our team, they said they could get something for around 15 to 18, play around the numbers and stuff like that. But when we actually started getting quotes, way more than we expected. So we're believing in God. The total number of that is the 135 plus 15,000, which is about $150,000. Now, quick story for you. When we started in Miami, we started with some sort of budget, right? It wasn't big dollars, but it was a pretty good size um, fund to start with. So we're able to pay our staff in the beginning. We're able to buy equipment and things like that. We had to live by faith, um, and God provided, and God came through for us and helped us, and we've gotten to see a lot of great things in at that time in our lives, and a lot of maturity has happened. So now we're here and looking to go back into the auditorium. I believe that if we're able to come up with this, and by the way, this is a 5-month plan, right? So this is not just going to go in 1 month. It's a 5-month runway so that we can be comfortable, right? We're not going to be stressed out about what are we going to do this week, how are we going to take care of things. Part of what is in here also includes making sure we pay the custodians, and take care of, I believe, the facility, make sure we have the facility as well, the rent in the facility. So there's that. Now, on the other side, which is very, very important, if you ask me the deadline for what I'm about to say, the deadline was actually 2 days ago, which was the 11th of March. So it was sent to me. We had a week to come up with the funds, but I had to get find time to tell the team, tell our staff, tell everybody what was going on, give them updates first, before bringing it here. I had to make some calls, to some people I know. I had to ask for advice. Hey, what do we do? This is kind of where we're at. And yeah, so the lawsuits, we're looking to raise about $50,000 for this next phase. Okay, we're looking to raise about $50,000 for the next phase. Um, the gift send go is giftsendgo.com/exposing occultism. Love it. I have a little speech that I put on there, or a speech. It says defend faith and free speech. It says the fight for truth is not over. Many told us to stay silent. We refused because silence protects evil, but truth brings it into the light. We have stood, we have endured, and we have continued to fight. Just like in the days of Nehemiah, when the people built the wall of Jerusalem with one hand working and holding a weapon. Nehemiah 4:17 and 18. We have stood with the word of God in one hand and the courage to confront evil in the other. The truth is still coming out. Since we began speaking up, many victims have come forward. Testimonies have revealed that the harm goes even deeper than we could have ever imagined. Women who were once silent have found courage to share their stories, and the truth continues to come to light. Videos exposing the truth and evidence continue to surface. Testimonies are being shared. What was hidden is now being revealed because people chose to stand. You chose to stand. Real change has already happened. People have gone to jail in the heat of the exposure. A so-called prophet has been arrested. He's been arrested for sodomy, forced sodomy on a minor, and oral copulation. Some individuals have been vindicated. Others have fled the country. Okay, and through it all, many people have come to repentance. Many people, countless, thousands of people have come to repentance. In fact, I believe that a revival of discernment has swept across the nation, across the world, especially for those who have been able to, who have watched this story, followed the story, and they've said things like, "Man, I knew my spirit something was wrong." Well, you were right. But the enemy is still fighting, and we will not back down. God will prevail. Imagine if we had stayed silent. Imagine if we had given up. So many people might still believe in deception. Because of your prayers and generosity, we have been able to continue this fight. Because of your prayers and generosity, we have been able to continue this fight and stand for those who felt they had no voice. Help us continue the fight. Now we ask you to stand with us again. We are raising $50,000 to support the ongoing lawsuit so we can continue fighting for the voiceless and ensure the truth is brought to light. This goal becomes possible when many people stand together. And we kind of have a breakdown. I think we can start by one person giving $50,000, two people giving $25,000, five people giving $10,000, 100 people giving $500, and so on. Right? Every gift, large or small, helps us continue standing for truth, protecting victims, and bringing hidden things into the light. Stand with us. If this mission matters to you, please prayerfully consider giving today. If you cannot give, please share the campaign and help this battle in your prayers. Stand together. We will continue to stand. So that's the write up that I put for that. The give send goal for this is giftsendgo.com/exposing occultism. The give send goal for building the church, the rebuild and the relaunch. We've been in relaunch this past few months, actually. Several months, is giftsendgo.com/build433. So we're building in one hand and we're fighting with the other hand. Okay. So it's giftsendgo.com/build433. And the other one is giftsendgo.com/exposing occultism. Now I want you to know, one of the things that we're really hoping to do is, take care of that back pay. We've used a lot of our personal funds, into making sure that the ministry continues to thrive, continues to build. One of the games I think that the other party will try to play is, of course, they couldn't get me for any of those frivolous, foolish allegations, none of which are true. So the only other way that they have tried is, going through, you know the kid's biological mom, and obviously hasn't worked. But I think they're gonna try again with the back pay, issue. It's about 3,000 plus. It's about $3,000 plus. And I hear that, no, I'm no lawyer, but I've heard that, they can push that to issue a warrant for my arrest, and then they can use that to actually, if the dad's arrested, then they can say, oh, well, the kids have to go to their mom, and it can be a whole thing. Okay, so we're going to try to avoid that by God's grace. I haven't put that in here, so um, I guess the other way to give towards this will be through the website, which is ejnewton.com. If you want to stand with me in that regard, okay. So I prayerfully considered, what I'm doing right now. I had some conversations with people who are close to us, who I believe are voices of reason, and I said, hey, we were going to come out and announce, our rebuilding for the church. And I said, literally a couple of days after the lawsuit comes, the invoices for the lawsuit comes, and I was just like, Lord, what the heck is going on? And well, Abednego, I'm just gonna say, I was talking to Abednego, and he said, listen, he said, sometimes, when you're about to build, the enemy will try to discourage you. And he says, it just sounds like a discouragement, right? You're trying to raise $150,000, then here's this $50,000 invoice on this ongoing case, and now it's like 200,000. Like 150 was already a lot of money, and now you have to raise 200. And I was like, well, I don't know, I don't really know what to I don't know what to do. He was like, if God has put it in your heart, you better get it done, so it's like, well, I guess sure, we'll make it happen. So here we are, after prayerfully considering everything. If you want to know what you're doing with the money, what we're doing with the money, you can go online. You can go to 433church.com, and it shows you the breakdown of where the funds are going. Um, if you haven't followed me for a while, if you're just joining today and you're like, oh my God, what's going on? I did a live stream where we broke down exactly how much, some of our staff were being paid. And I'm talking, what, 2023, 2024, 2020, 2023, and 2024, right? I think I shared those, partially shared, right? Tallied up. One of them was, over 500,000. The other one was north of 700 something thousand dollars, which is the part that we shared. There's obviously way more things that we didn't put in inside of that, because we had different levels of staff. I don't think that comments needs to be deleted. I think for the sake of transparency, we can leave that comment, right? I don't think it's wrong to ask where, it's not wrong to ask where funds are going. So and yeah, that's where the funds are going. And on Gifts and Go, the reason why I chose to use Gifts and Go is that, again, for transparency, you can actually track what's coming in, what you're giving, what everybody else is giving. You can actually see it on the Gifts and Go, right? On the website. So um with that being said, I'm going to end the live stream shortly, and I'll place the Gifts and Go link on the live stream. Now, I want to encourage every single one of you to join us, to stand with us, to partner with us as we go through this next round of building and fighting. Okay, it's been a it's been a time coming, and I want to say thank you to everyone who has partnered with us so far. We've seen God do incredible things, incredible miracles, um, and I believe that God is going to move again, and He's going to do really, really incredible things for us. I don't want to say we're going to be surprised, but I believe that I really feel the Lord on this. So I want you to share this with somebody. You know, give towards it. Tell somebody. Somebody reached out to me and they were like, "Oh, why don't you ask this man of God and that man of God?" And I was like, "Well, that man of God follows me, and I did ask, But again, everybody has things that they're dealing with, they're going through, right? Some people don't want to support it, like I said, because it's really not their cup of tea. They have distanced themselves from it, and then some people that you may not know have in fact supported us. So I want to thank God for them. I don't want to focus on people who haven't helped us. And again, nobody owes us anything. Okay, I want you to know that I know that nobody owes us anything. Anyone who has partnered with us is because the Lord has touched their hearts and they decided to be generous. Okay, um, and so for that reason, I'm grateful. For that reason, I'm very grateful. I thank God for your generosity. I thank you for standing with us, and throughout all of this, my wife, my kids, my church, my builders, our builders, um, God's builders. We say thank you. We say thank you, and yeah, that's where we're at. For the lawsuit, the deadline, like I said, was the 11th of March. But I reached out to the lawyer and I said, "Hey, I need a little bit, to come up with this," and he was very kind to say okay. Um, Now, even though he has said okay, we still need to make this happen. Um, so I'm here having this conversation, and uh, uh, yeah. Anyway, God is good, and I'm gonna play one last video at the end, and I'm gonna put up the given information again to give directly for the rebuilding of the church. It is givesendgo.com/build 433. Those are the numbers, 4 and number 3 and number 3. So build 433. And to support with the lawsuits, that is givesendgo.com/exposing occultism. Okay. Um yeah, this is another opportunity that we get to see the victory of Jesus together. Whether you are part of our online community, online family, or if you are with us in person. Again, thank you so much. I appreciate you. We love you. And let's make this count. And for the van, it is 433. It's givesendgo.com/433van. So givesendgo.com/ I know it's a lot of links. 433van. So there we go. We have decided to continue and not back down. So I'm grateful to every single one of you who has been a part of this journey with us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm going to put that information. God bless you. And we'll see you soon. Over the last 2 years, some of you have partnered with us as we have fought. Over the last 2 years, some of you have partnered with us as we have fought against deception and brought about reorder in the church. There are things
that you don't tolerate when you're in maturity. Tolerance to the wrong doctrine is agreement, is partnership. This is why if you're sitting in a place where they're planning a coup, you know what a coup is? You're planning to overthrow a government. If you're seated in that room and you don't disagree firmly, what happens when they come to arrest those that have committed the coup? They also arrest you and they prosecute you for what? Treason. Because you sat in the room without speaking against what was wrong. It means you agreed with it. Your presence in the wrong rooms is agreement with whatever has been discussed, the information in that wrong room. And the Lord said that was how you partnered with it. By sitting there and not speaking against it. I said, Lord, have mercy on me. I renounce every partnership. I began to renounce every partnership. To correct what is not of God. Say, Lord, I renounce wrong doctrines. I renounce wrong teachings. I renounce every room that I sat in where they were planning a spiritual coup.
There's been lawsuits. Some people have called it persecution, but I call it incubation. I call it a time where God is incubating order back into his house. And we are grateful that the Lord has chosen us to be at the forefront of this experience. Some of you have prayed for us. You've partnered with us financially. We thank you. We're grateful for you, for your work, for choosing to go through this journey with us. We're at the next stage of this process, still a Bible in hand and a sword in the other hand, like in the book of Nehemiah, fighting with one hand and rebuilding with the other hand. We need to come up with about $50,000 towards the next phase of the lawsuit. I'm believing that God will provide just as he did in the last phase. Join us on this journey. We will not be silenced.
After I'm hearing and reading and seeing these allegations and more, I'm like, oh, okay, this is not a contest between these two guys. This is something that's actually real. And so when people were doubting you, and I knew what you were saying was true because I was there. Point, silence is compliance. Like, if you don't speak up, if you don't talk about what you've seen, what you've experienced, how it impacted you, you're saying like it's okay.
Thousands have come to the truth of God because of the alarm that has been sounded. 2 people have been arrested for pedophilia. One of them, a prophet, who was arrested in the California region for sodomy, for forced sodomy against a child. People are being brought to justice. One of the individuals has fled the country because of this perversion in the house of God.
Passion Java raped me.
Thank God that he used us in this process to sound the alarm. Countless victims have spoken up.
You get raped?
Yep.
How many times did he rape you?
5 times in total.
Countless victims are now being represented.
My name is Haley Sasheen Adams.
By lawyers and some other lawyers that have stepped up to take on these cases. Justice will prevail. We didn't start this. We didn't sue nobody. They sued us to bully us out of speaking our experience and speaking the truth. But thank God that we continue to march forward. Listen, join us in this fight. Join us. We will not be silenced. We need about $50,000 for this next phase. We're believing God to come up with this within the next week. I pray that as the Lord touches you, that you partner with us in this vision. Listen, if one person goes down, everybody goes down. We will not be silenced and we will not go down. We will not be used as an example whom the devil bullied into silence. It wouldn't happen. We will speak boldly. It's true for standing with us, and thank you for praying with us. I believe that this will be fully funded in the set time. God bless you. It's EJ Newton, and may the great grace of the Lord continue to sustain you as you fight with us. God bless you.